Hello everyone, Simon here, and we've got another Minecraft Design School video for you guys. So, Pyrovileslayer has asked me to look at one of his builds on the Stoneburner Gaming Survival Multiplayer server. So the admin of the server has told me that I am allowed to tell you what the server address is, and so I put that in the video description. And if you want to check out the server, you are welcome to do so. Let me just tell these guys I'm going to make a video. I've been asked to make a YouTube video of a build. So stuff you say might appear on the internet, or I can turn off the UI by Pyrovileslayer. Just gonna tell them not to say anything incriminating. Anyway, so this is the area. So it's a bit of a walled town. There's a wall, there's a kind of a castle thing, and then there's a house here. Let me just see if they're okay before I turn off the UI or something silly like that. Let's see how they respond. The question that Pyrovileslayer has asked is, like, what should they build? So they've got a wall, they've got a castle, they've got a tower there. You can see the tower. And the question was, like, what kind of stuff should they build? He asked for ideas for what to build, and so, I mean, you guys can pitch in too because ideas are free, right? So if you have any ideas for what Pyrovileslayer wants to build in his war town, then by all means leave them in the comments, and that might be helpful for him too. Thank you. Oh, hi. So, the war, I've been looking around this for a little while. And this is kind of the entrance, not really, the zombies outside. Yes, if you want me to, I can. Oh crap. Let me just avoid dying. Hopefully. So the town doesn't have a front gate. And that would be the first thing that I would suggest is to make a front gate, because the town doesn't have a okay, I'm just gonna ignore that. So the town doesn't have a front gate, and that's a little bit strange. I mean, there's a kind of like a bridge up there that leads to the castle, and when I look at the map from a top-down map, it seems like that should be like the main entrance, but then the bridge doesn't lead anywhere. If we go up there, you'll see that the bridge doesn't actually. There's a zombie still there. The bridge doesn't actually go anywhere. It's not smart enough to get up here, right? So let me just get up here, and there's no ladder up here. Hold on. So the navigation up here is a little bit strange, and maybe the bridge is intended to keep going that way because the spawn point, although the spawn area is underground, and so you can't actually get to the spawn area from the outside, I don't think. So like it implies that there should be a road, but then it just ends here, right? And then this road also ends at the tower. So like roads, like if you look at the road outside your house, the road outside your house goes past your house. It doesn't go straight into your house usually, unless like you're at the end of a cul-de-sac or something like that. So roads usually go past buildings instead of going straight to them. So this doesn't really function very well as a proper road. There's a mountain up there. So I think like a front gate, a road. So I'm gonna approach this from an urban planning perspective. Like a front gate. I mean, there are kind of paths here, but they're not that serious. I think there needs to be like just more roads and a more comprehensive network to them. So if you are a real-world planner, or if you have played games like SimCity or City Skylines, you'll notice that in those games, it's always roads first. So you have to put down the roads, and then you put down the zones, and then the city starts to appear. And in real life, that's the case too. Like you have to kind of put in the roads before anything gets built, because how do things get built? Like trucks arrive with the materials, and then your builders arrive in their trucks, and then they start building. Like if there's no roads, the materials can't actually get to the building site to start building. You see what I mean? So roads kind of have to go first in the real world, and the roads have to go first in the city building games. And the thing about Minecraft is that in Minecraft, roads don't have to go first. You can build a lot of stuff with no roads because you just walk around the landscape, right? But it's not just it's just the roads. If you don't have roads, then your city doesn't really have a structure to it. And if you start building without a structure, then you end up with problems later on because you didn't plan how things work before you started building. So I would just suggest a lot more roads. And like a front gate, maybe a back gate. A lot of cities have at least 4 gates, like north, south, east, and west. A lot of cities, because people want to move through the city. They don't want to just kind of go into a city and get stuck, usually. Also, where's that zombie? So people, like usually there's multiple gates. There's roads that cover the entire city. And then a town square somewhere would be nice. Although here, I'm not too sure. I guess down here might be a suitable place for a town square. I mean, this is very vertical though. There's like super vertical. I don't know if you want like a staircase going up there or something. But roads, maybe we should just spend more time thinking about where the roads should go. A town square would usually go in the middle of a city, but I'm thinking like it might be nice if you can actually see most of the city from the town square, but if we put it in a ditch like this, then you can't actually see. Am I lagging? I might be lagging. Anyway, I can keep recording it when I'm lagging. So, I mean, the town square up here, maybe up here would make sense, but it's like somebody's already built a house here. And this is, it's possibly poor planning in the sense that you might want this town square to be here. Because there's like, you want a town square, how should I explain it? Like, mostly it's just a flat piece of land with nothing in it. But it's also the center of the town where people gather. And so you want the town square to be in a central location, in a place that everybody knows, and it becomes one of the landmarks of the city. And the city could also use other landmarks. So obviously there's a tower and a bridge, and those are landmarks. But you'll notice there's like big mountains here. And then, so you can't see behind the mountains, you see what's going on behind them. Let's see. Actually, I'm looking at the map now. Is there a path on the other side of the city? There might be. So I'm thinking maybe like landmarks on each side. Again, like north, south, east, and west of the city. That might make sense. So more roads, town square, landmarks. I mean, there's a landmark. So the giant window is a sort of landmark. It's tall, it's distinctive, so you know exactly where it is. You can just kind of look, oh, there it is. There's a window, it's a landmark. So something tall and distinctive. Landmarks serve to give people a way to identify where they are, to get a sense of direction. So that's kind of useful. So back behind, I'm saying behind because I'm assuming the front of the city is that way. This is the back of the city. Just because the bridge points that way, so I'm assuming there's a front and a back. That might not be the intent, but that's how I'm reading it. Just, as I'm kind of walking through the city and I'm looking at it, I read this as the back. And the back of the city is a farm, which makes sense. You need a farm in Minecraft to get food. Actually, can I just steal some carrots? I am kind of hungry. Let me just replant this stuff. Nobody tell anyone that I'm stealing carrots. Alright, let me just nom some carrots here and try not to die. Alright, cool. So there's a farm back here, that's pretty good, and then there's that's a little unorganized, a sugarcane farm. And then there's another house. You see, the lack of roads is causing these houses to be just built wherever people want. And if you keep doing this, it will become rather disorganized. So Pyrovileslayer is the one who asked me to build this. Jack Jazz and Nines, I think, are the other people here. I think Nines is the one who does a lot of the mining. Oh, there's a road that goes into the swamp here. That's interesting. So there is a... they built the wall over it. There used to be a road here, but they built a wall over it, and they didn't put a gate in here. Why would you not... Where's the gate? Okay, the path continues that way, but there's no gate here. A city wall does need gates, because people do need to get out of the city, you know that, right? So gates. Gates, roads, town square. A few more landmarks is what I'm thinking. So over this side is a bit more narrow and also a bit more hilly too. There's potential for some underground stuff on this side of the city. Actually, there's a bit of a... yeah, no gate. Even Mochi Cake is criticizing. So, yeah, so they've observed the same problem. Leave that. So it is a problem that there is no door to your city. All right. So on this side, I was saying there's potential for stuff to be built underground here, but the thing is, underground structures, while they might be conceptually interesting, they don't make your city look any better because they're all underground, so you can't see them. So if you build an extensive underground palace, for example, it doesn't look very special because everything's hidden. Nobody sees it. So if you spend all your time building stuff underground, it's actually kind of it's not very rewarding. It's not very like you put in a lot of work, but nobody notices because it's all underground. So maybe don't build too much underground, at least not for now. Maybe later on when you run out of room. So back here there is a bit of a forest on a mountain. Maybe I'm just wondering if you want to keep this as a forest. Maybe improve it, turn it into a park. I mean, cities do need parks. I'm not sure if it needs this many parks or this much park. The back of the tower is a little... The back of the tower is a little cobblestoney. I mean, this side of the tower is not that impressive, is it? You can kind of tell there's a front and a back to things. And you might think, well, it's the back, like it's the forest side. Nobody sees it from this side. Well, yes, if it remains a forest, that would be true. But it doesn't have to remain a forest, you know what I mean? And then you might want to improve that side a little bit. And so there's a really steep mountain there. A monument there might make sense. A quasi-religious building. I don't know if you're religious, but if you are religious, you might want to put a quasi-religious building over here, or a statue, or like a giant dragon, or like a tower, or like a catapult, or well, I don't know what something. Because like so high up, it means that it will be visible from most parts of the city. So something distinctive, a distinctive landmark there would make sense. Although there's already a bridge there, and so it's like the bridge partially blocks the view of that thing. So from there, looking this way, the bridge would block the view of that. So maybe this, whatever landmark this is, should face this way, so that it serves this side more than the other side, because that's already blocked, and that view is already blocked a little bit. So there's a giant mountain here. Again, there's room to make stuff. Maybe not caves, but maybe terraces, right? Maybe you can like have terraces, have like you know, structures terracing up this steep side here. A bunch of like houses on a cliff or houses on a mountain. That might be kind of interesting, like a house on a cliff. You can have a house buried or like dug into the cliff face there, so like there's a big window, and then there's a house behind it. That might be cool, right? So this vertical face, there's potential here to do something with it, or maybe like build a giant statue in here or something. You know those Buddhist statues that the Taliban blew up in Afghanistan? I don't even remember that. So people would carve statues into cliff sides because like the rock's already there. You don't have to move a giant piece of rock there because there's a cliff. So they carve into the cliff to make a statue in a niche. Well, it's not really a niche because it's giant. It's a massive space carved into a statue. So you can maybe do that, or maybe put a house there or something. That's kind of cool there. Landmark up there. I don't know if you what do you want to do about this forest. I feel like maybe a park with like some water, with like some lakes and rivers and waterfalls could work here, and some nice gardens and some paths amongst the trees. That might be cool here. But it is kind of at the back of the city, and it's cut off from the rest of the city, from the plains, as it were, by the giant tower. So it's like it's separated from the other side. So I'm not sure. I mean, having a giant tower in the middle looks good, but it also blocks. Like it's like imagine like you have a living room and somebody just puts a giant piece of rock in your living room, and now the entire living room is dominated by this giant rock. That's kind of what it's like. You know, like a space is only useful if it's empty. That's a very Taoist thing if you're Chinese and you know your Chinese philosophy. Like in Taoist philosophy, they say like a cup is only useful if it's empty. Like if it's empty, you can put stuff in the cup. If the cup is already full, you can't use it anymore. You have to empty it first before you can put stuff into it. So sometimes things are only useful when they're empty, and that's what town squares are like. That's what roads are like, and then that's all what public spaces in cities are like. Like the spaces are only usable if they're empty. Like if they have stuff in it already, then you can't use the space because it's filled with stuff. So sometimes empty space is actually more useful than building a lot of buildings. Of course, you want buildings, right? You don't want just an empty city, but you need a good balance and a good strategic use of empty space. So back here, this is like a little niche. So like spaces like this, it's surrounded on all four sides. Really, it's surrounded on four sides by these cliffs, and so it's like a smaller. Oh, no, go away, pig. That's my carrots. It's a smaller space within the larger space, right? There's the large city within the walls, and then there's like a little pocket space like this, surrounded by mountains. And so this is like a very kind of sheltered space, and maybe you can do something here. I don't know what, but something private would go here. Something private and maybe a little bit secret would go here, right? Maybe like a little retreat, a little park, or it could be like a secret base for somebody. So something that is less likely to be found. Oh, here this is good. Tunnels are good. Given that there's a giant mountain, a tunnel through the mountain is useful for. I'm not gonna get into that. Somebody lost their chickens. This is cool. It doesn't go anywhere though. Maybe this path should continue on. There should be more roads. I think there need to be more roads. And I think I'm gonna later on in the video, I think I should take the time to just look at where the roads should go. Well, this is a little bit awkward here. I'm not sure if I should make a joke about the chickens or not. It seems inappropriate to joke about dead chickens at this point in time. I do want to make a joke really bad though. I just want to make a joke about dead chickens. Alright, so, and then here... Okay, you found them, good. And then here we can look back at the... So this is a great view. Kaiman, well, Kaiman's gonna get banned. So... I'm not gonna joke. I was gonna make a joke, but so from here, this is a great view of the tower. So again, there should be not only a landmark here, but a way for someone to get up here and enjoy this view. This is a great view, by the way. So you want to invite people to come up here. So whatever landmark you make up here, you want to make it so that it draws people up here. So it needs to be a really interesting thing that people want to see up close. So that once they get up here, then they'll get this view and be rewarded for making the effort. So what would draw people up here? So a giant statue would not draw people up close because a giant statue is something you have to see from afar. For example, something like the Statue of Liberty. You might think, oh, let's go visit the Statue of Liberty. Let's go to Liberty Island and look at the. But the thing is, you can't see the statue when you're right up against it because it's so big, right? Like when you stand at the bottom of the Statue of Liberty and you look up at it, it's not really a good view of the statue. Like to see a giant statue, you have to be far away to see what it looks like because like the angle and the viewing angle is not good when you're up close. So visiting the Statue of Liberty is not the same as looking at the Statue of Liberty from a distance. So for like a giant statue like that is not great for giving people a reason to go up close. If there's some sort of monument and there's like text on the monument, then people have to go up close to read the text. A lot of war memorials are kind of like that. So a lot of memorials for dead people would have like the names written on a wall or something. That happens a lot with memorials, and those people really kind of go up close to the wall to read the text, to read the names. So it's a sort of thing that it has to look good from a distance, but also it has to allow people to get right up close to it to look at the individual names and maybe like find their relatives or whatever it is. So something that encourages people to get up close would be good here, I think. The pig is... What are you looking at? Enjoying the view of the tower. Yeah, it's a great view, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that. It's a great view. Yeah, it's great. Alright, so let's get back down. And, I mean, the park could include the mountain and the forest. It seems like a really big project. I'm not sure if you want to spend that much space on a park, though. I'm not sure what else you would put on this side, just because it's blocked off from the other side. So in real cities, there would be like residential districts and industrial districts and commercial districts. You would not put the commercial district in the back of your city because the commercial guys, they want people to access their markets. And so like they need customers to access their shops. So the commercial guys would want to be in the middle of all the people. And so they usually at crossroads and things like that because that's where the people are. The industrial guys sometimes get pushed to the back of the city because they make pollution and nobody wants to live in the pollution, and so they get pushed to the end or like to the sides. This seems unsafe. How do I get off this? This seems unsafe. All right. Ow. And although I don't know if you want to put industrial stuff in because it's also a mountain. Like it's also a nice place for a park. It's a forest. Maybe it can be a tree farm. Maybe it can be a park / tree farm at the same time. I'm not sure. Anyway, so there seems to be... It seems like there should be a front gate somewhere here, and there should be a back gate where the path used to be. So if we assume there's a gate at either end, then the road obviously would link the two gates. Then the road would obviously go from here and maybe here. This is kind of odd because there's a big steep slope here, but it seems to make sense for the road to come here. And maybe because if the road comes through here, then maybe the town square should be right down there. Down there should be a town square. Maybe some like a town hall, public buildings there before the path goes up the hills into whatever is back there. And then you can like put more houses. If you have other people building more houses, then you have like more houses in that area. Obviously you want to put roads in first. Maybe like a big landmark back there. Town square here. public buildings, private houses, landmark, and then the road we come through here. This is the main road. You need more roads than just the main road, but the main roads might come through here. Maybe it will also lead that way. Come here into a crossroads. Although the crossroads kind of also want to cross through this way. And then there's existing roads here, so this joins up this way, right? Maybe it goes that way, and then this road, the existing road that they've already built, comes through here. And so this part makes sense, and then it goes into the farm. This kind of makes sense. I'm not sure what you want to do up here then. I mean, you don't want to crowd the tower with a lot of tall buildings here, so you want to keep whatever you build here low. Maybe you like cut into the mountain and put some houses on this side of the road as well, but not like you don't want to build up from there. You want to like cut in and remove a lot of mountain, or like dig your house into the mountain on this side so you don't get in the way of the giant tower in the middle of your city. So this road comes back here to the farm, and the farm has roads. That's good. You can have more houses back there too. Roads back here. And the entrance to the tower is actually on the other side from the bridge, which is a little strange. I can't I can't tell where the front and the back is, like which is the front, which is the back. But as I'm saying that, because it's a circular tower that's symmetrical on all four sides, there's no front or back. Like when you draw a circle has no front or back because it's just the same on all sides. Like when you have a triangle there's like an up and down because it sits on the flat side, and if you put it on the pointed side, it just falls over. So like a square or a triangle, a square kind of has a front and a back, although you can turn it over 90 degrees and it's still the same shape. So some shapes have front and back, and then some shapes don't. So the circle has no front or back. The underneath though, the foundation of it kind of has. Well, it has. I mean, this is either the front or the back, and then the others, the sides are there, but I can't tell if this is the front or the back. And maybe you think, well, what's the big deal? Why do we need a front and a back? I mean, it just allows people to identify your building easier. Is this someone's house? Storage. Alright, so that's private storage. And the road, of course, needs to join back up with the swamp path on the other side, with a gate at the back of the city as well. The path would go through I mean, obviously just link up the path you already have, right? So the lighthouse, wait a minute. I'm looking at the map. There's a map that you can't see, but I can. So this path goes. This is kind of weird. So it goes into the building, and it also goes into the farm. But it's not really like you can't. As I said, like the road outside your house goes past your house. The road outside your house doesn't go into your house. So the road kind of needs to go past the farms and not through the farms. If that makes sense. Like if someone is traveling past your house, you want them to travel past your house. You don't want them to like go into your house, go in the front door and then out the back door to get past your house. Because that would be rude for strangers to walk through your house like that. So the road kind of needs to go past the farm, even if you also have a path through the farm. Alright, so we can't get in there. And I'm not sure if we can get inside the tower at all, to be honest. This door is open. Okay, well, we can get inside because they leave the doors open. Let's not touch anything. We can't. We'll see how far we can get. Alright, so the tower. See, again, like it feels like I'm coming through the back door because where's the grand entrance? This is the library. Well, I did come to the back door, really, didn't I? So there's a library here. So, like, even the internal structure of this thing is not entirely clear because I'm going through all these, basically these service rooms, right? These are like crafting rooms and portal rooms. So these are all. Okay, there's zombies. Netherwort doesn't need to be dark to grow, guys. You can grow them in the light. Oh crap! I'm stuck in here. I'm stuck in here with a zombie. Coal room. Let's just walk away from the zombie. And then... No, this is a dead end too. Crap. Is that guy still there? Can I... Alright, so these are like the service rooms. I can't even get into the tower from here. Maybe I'm in the wrong place. Alright, let me go back outside. So yeah, so where's the front door? Where's the front door to the tower? Does it... Is it up here? Oh, it's up here, isn't it? No, it's not up here. I don't know. I don't know where the front... So that's not even part of the tower, is it? This is not actually part of the tower. Wait, the front door to the tower is here? There's no road? I think we could use a better entrance. Or a better path up here at least. I mean, you can figure it out, right? Put a terrace there and then put a big wide, a grand path. Although, it's not clear how this comes up. It's a very, 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 very roundabout way to get up to your tower, because if the front of your city is over there, you have to go all around your city before you go into the tower. It's not always a criticism though. Sometimes you do this deliberately, just to make the journey more dramatic. it's a little ostentatious and it's a little bit over the top. But sometimes you make the path kind of indirect, just for the sake of making it more dramatic. Athens, the Parthenon in Athens is one example of this, or the Acropolis. So the Acropolis is like this fortress in the middle of Athens in Greece, and the path up to the Acropolis is this kind of winding, convoluted path up a couple of stairs. Partially because it's meant to be a fortress, and so you don't want an easy path into the fortress, because if somebody invades you and tries to attack you, you want them to have a hard time getting up to the fortress. So partly it's because of that, but also every year I think it is they have a ceremony to celebrate Athena or something, and they would have this ceremonial parade going up the convoluted path, and there will be a really long and winding path. Because it's a ceremony, then it's it just makes the ceremony more interesting because the path is so long. it's So I mean, so it's not entirely a criticism when I say that the path up to the tower is really long and convoluted. It's just that you have to ask yourself whether that's what you want to do. If it is what you want to do, then by all means do it. Like it's not a criticism at all. But if you don't want it to be this convoluted, then I'm not sure what to think about the fact that the front door to the tower is there, right behind other buildings like this. Like there's no grand entrance here, which is kind of weird. Although you can put it there, as I said, maybe. So I mean, it's good that like the landmarks are good. Like whenever you're up high, like when you're up on a mountain, you can see the giant tower, and that's a good view. Like when you're up here, you can see the window, and that's a good view. I think we could use one more landmark on this side, as I said. It seems to make sense to have like one more landmark there. And then that would be like all the big things. So on the mountain, the tower, the window, and then there, that would be like all the big things we need, I think. You can have more, of course. But if you just fill the entire city with landmarks, then it's not special anymore. The whole point of landmarks is that it's different from everything else, and that's what makes them special. If you have too many landmarks, then it just gets silly. gates, landmarks, roads, and then once you have the roads in, it becomes more clear as to where you should put your buildings. Because once you put your roads in, then you just put the buildings between the roads. That's not a difficult question to answer. A town square underneath here, I think. This bridge, I mean, it looks cool. It doesn't go anywhere. Should it be a concern that it doesn't go anywhere? And I keep feeling like this should be the front door to the tower. This really should be the front door to the tower. The problem is the bridge doesn't go anywhere. Unless what you do is you have the road go from the front gate through the city, around the hill, back up behind the mountain, and then you make like that's the main road. So the main road is a giant spiral that comes up to maybe like here, or maybe even like there. And then from here into that's possible. It's possible that the main road of the town is just a giant spiral that comes up here, and then it ends at the tower, and you make this the front door to the tower, at least on this side. That would be really, really over the top, and like unnecessarily dramatic and ostentatious, but that's what the tower is. Look at it. it's pretty dramatic. So maybe it deserves a really dramatic entry to it, right? Go all the way around. Maybe do that. Maybe just do it because why not? Do we need to? You can go out in the middle of the tower. You can do this. This staircase, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Can you not make this? I guess you can. It's a very thin. I'm just saying, it's a very thin staircase in the middle of the tower. This staircase, I would not give this. How would I rate this staircase out of 10? Maybe like a 6 out of 10. There's also a dirt block there, which doesn't belong there probably. 6 out of 10 staircase. I'm not sure if this is like maybe like a B grade staircase. I mean, my first instinct would be to try to build a spiral staircase here, but I'm not sure if there's enough room for a spiral staircase in here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's easy to criticize. I know it's easy to criticize, and it's not easy to build. So, take my opinion however you like. You don't have to. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree. So from up here, you can pretty much see the entire city, right? As we said, there's a windmill back there. And then the front, I keep calling it the front, although it might not be the front in your mind. The front is there, and then we have that bridge thing. Yeah, so imagine if the main road comes through there, goes all the way around, and then like maybe like up the mountain or through the mountain, or like hangs off the side of the mountain and up to there, and then it curves in. Seems kind of crazy. And then town square maybe down there. So there's like 2 squares really. There's like this level up here is kind of a town square, although it's dominated by the tower. But this is like it's big enough to be open public space. So there's like an upper square, and then there's like a lower square, which is great if you're the sort of person who likes to stratify your society depending on whether they're rich or poor. If you're that sort of person, then obviously you would have the upper class citizens on the upper square and the lower class citizens on the lower square. And you might even throw things down at the lower class people from above because you're mean and you're bullies. If you're that kind of person. I'm not saying that you are. Alright, so down the tower again. I think that's it. I think that's what I can see. The town wall really needs gates because, as the others have also noticed, it is rude. It is rude to not have a gate. Yeah, I mean, it's not interesting stuff though, is it? Gates might be interesting. Roads are not that interesting. Town square is not that interesting either. But that's the structure. Those are the structure of the city. The infrastructure, literally, is the structure of the city. The roads define the structure of the city, and then once you have the structure in, then people can build their houses between the roads. And why did all the chickens come to this tiny? Witchy Cakes has chicken problems. What else do I have to say? I think that's it. Alright, so let's not drag this out any longer. Alright, I'm done. So let me just say, okay, I'm at the end of my video. Anything you want to say to the internet? I just I think what they've done is they've let people build houses here. So they let people move in and build their house. Oh good, the just heard me talking about cruise and chickens. I mean, everyone likes it. Everyone's like chickens. Alright, that's the end of the video. So if you have any suggestions for what Pyrovileslayer might build in their city, by all means leave that in the comments. And alright, I'll see you next time somebody has something for me to look at in Minecraft. Some architecture things for me to look at and questions. Alright, I'll see you.